in any good state to register our displeasure with the ongoing saga at JAMB and UTME exams. Our children have had enough. Yes. We have been traumatized. Yes. They have been traumatized. Yes. They have been rendered, you see people committing suicide, depression, mental problem, all because of JAMB.
Tension, frustration and uncertainty, that has been the mood across many homes after the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAMB announced a mass failure of candidates in the March 2025 UTME. Following sustained backlash, JAMB Registrar Professor Ishaq Oloyede made an emotional public apology on national television, admitting that technical failures, especially in Lagos and the Southeast, were responsible for the poor outcome.
Put myself personally responsible, including for the negligence of the service provider and I unreservedly apologize for it and the trauma it has affected Nigerians to, directly or indirectly. We have decided that all the candidates affected in the 157 centers of the 882 be contacted to retake their examinations. These candidates are to be contacted through text messages addressed to their registered phone number. They are directed to reprint their examination slips for the rescheduled examination dates.
I won't even blame the whole thing from technical. It doesn't look like technical to me. It's very clear. Up front that is not technical, you understand? So the whole thing being south is regional something, you understand? I think it has something to do with that. There has to be background to that. There has to be some questions for that. There has to be some answers for that.
While some students accepted personal responsibility, others, along with their parents, felt the system has failed them. Affected candidates were given just 48 hours notice to resit the exam on May 16th and 19th respectively, a move many describe as both insufficient and highly stressful.
Resitting the exam is the best option that will make them feel better, at least, because everybody's complaining, everybody has a reason why they didn't do well. Me, I know I don't read. So like I not read, okay, let me not say I don't read. I did not read well. That's why I did not get what I was supposed to get. That one I actually know I did not read well. That's why I did not get what I was supposed to get. But like, if maybe now that everybody has a reason to complain or say I did not do well, let them just give them a second chance. So if they fail this time, they'll know it's on them. JAMB isn't as hard as they make it seem. JAMB is actually an easy exam. So like you should just actually just read. It's not something to be scared of. It's just options. But for me, I feel like if you go into the exam with fear, that might even be what will make you fail, not even the fact that you did not read. So like you should just go there and read before you go and just calm down. Everything will be fine.
I'm still seeing the fault on the side of these JAMB people because one, their technicality is below average. You can see they have a lot of complaint about their computers and whatever and what have you. So if they are not competent, why not employ or let me say co-op with other ministries, other parastatals and agencies like the ICT people so that they will make sure that all our things should go in place.
JAMB shouldn't make students wait for days or a week rather for their results because it's a computer-based test and the answers they are logged on the database. So immediately you finish your exam, you should be able to see your score. The credibility of JAMB has been tested a long time ago because every other year that comes by, there's always mass failure. It's always worse than last year, always worse than last year.
No point writing the exam because the deed has been done already. Because you now telling the students now to go back, they might not have that sufficient time to prepare for the exam. The thing I understand is that they need to work on their technical issues. You understand? Because the exams have been fixed earlier before when they wrote it. So I expected them to have prepared themselves before then. So them coming up with technical issues, I believe they are not competent conducting another exam because it's going to affect the student, and also because they're not going to have enough time to prepare for the exam. And those people that did better now, they might not really do much better if another avenue is being given to them, because they might not have much time to prepare for the exam.
Protests followed swiftly in Enugu, Abia, and Ebonyi states respectively, as civil society organizations like the Southeast Women Network staged a protest at the JAMB offices in these states. They called for the total cancellation of the exam, alleging the result defied all academic logic and demanding a full investigation and persecution of those responsible.
In Enugu State, to register our displeasure with the ongoing saga at JAMB and UTM exams, our children have had enough. Yes. We have been traumatized. Yes. They have been traumatized. Yes. They have been rendered, you see people committing suicide, depression, mental problem, all because of JAMB. And we are asking JAMB, you don't deploy technology selectively. Yes. Yes. And you don't sit for exams selectively. Yes. Exam that you want to judge fair, everybody must have uniform exam same day. Yes. So when JAMB admitted responsibility for the glitch or human error, whatever they call it, we said that was good and way forward. But seeing them within 2 days refix another exam without full analysis of what went wrong, and then just without even thinking about the parents, about the current hardship in the country, about people affordability, just impose exam. Worse still, they pose exam and put a time unknown to law. 6 a.m., 6:30. Do people take exam this early? No. Do people take exam this early? No. And then you put it in a time, even in the Southeast, there is so much insecurity. And what we are calling today at JAMB office is to tell them that they have to cancel the exam. Total cancellation. Total cancellation, and they will put another date if at all JAMB will continue.
Adding to the growing dissent, Southeast senators also condemned the exam process. In a statement signed by Senator Ininaya Abaribe, they described the situation as hateful politics, warning against political interference in education. Some are calling for the resignation of the JAMB Registrar. Recall that out of the 1.9 million candidates who sat for this year's UTME, over 1.5 million scored below 200 marks out of a possible 400, a staggering statistics that triggered widespread concern among many education stakeholders. One tragic consequence of this controversy was the reported suicide of a student, further fueling public outrage. Prominent columnist Steve Osuji questioned the board's explanation, calling for an investigation, questioning why the glitches occurred specifically in the southeast and parts of Lagos. He called for a thorough investigation, but defended Professor Ishaq Oloyede, stating his resignation isn't the immediate solution to the challenge.
Something is amiss. Why is it southeast and a few centers in Lagos too fishy to be technical? It looks as if the affected areas are singled out, and I pick my work carefully. It looks like, but ordinarily, if anybody looking at the situation will say, there is something here that is human. This is not just technical, because technical, the computers cannot see. So why is it not in the southwest? Why is it not in the northeast? Why is it not in the northwest? Why is it not in the middle belt or north central? Why is it only this area? Which is why people are saying, let us open it up. Let us investigate the process. Let us go through the process again to be sure that nothing is fishy. JAMB is too important to not to have integrity. It's an integrity issue now we're talking about. The integrity of it must be constant all the time. I don't think the first thing right now is for him to resign or for him to be sacked. The first thing right now is that he conducted that exam. He's in the midst of this problem. Let us open up the process. Let us get some help. Well, apparently they need help. And there is need for people to see the process, that it is transparent, that it is it has integrity. So first of all, let us see what the problem is exactly. So we need an open investigation. We need an inquiry to find out what really happened first, so that it does not even happen again next year, so that we can correct the process. It is from this inquiry that we now know whether the JAMB, the head of JAMB was derelict in his duty. It is from this inquiry that we will know. To just say sack him now, the problem has not been solved.
Meanwhile, calls call for JAMB and tertiary institutions to consider temporary policy adjustments, including lowering cut-off marks to accommodate affected students.
For them to reduce the cut-off mark for it, at least I expect police should be collecting 110, and I will give university the grades of 140, because even though they think give them the grades for them to write the exam, it will not be possible, because most of them will soon fail. So why not they should also reduce the cut-off mark for the JAMB, and at least and police should be getting 110, university should be getting 140 for the grades of this year.
If they are going to give them an opportunity to write the exam, that means they have to be a little bit lenient in marking the exam, because some of them might not have enough time. Because you giving them 48 hours to start preparing, automatically what happens has affect them psychologically and emotionally and otherwise. So
in a stakeholder meeting that was held in Abuja yesterday, 21st of May 2025, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced plans to conduct a mop-up examinations for candidates who were unable to sit for the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, due to various reasons. The JAMB Registrar, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, criticized those questioning the swift rescheduling of the exam for affected candidates, explaining the tight academic calendar that JAMB must adhere to.
Once JAMB conducts its UTME late April, from May, WASC starts, and it goes on till that's SSCE for WAEC, and immediately NECO starts till July. Immediately NAPTEP follows. This same set of students are the one taking all these examinations. So we are conscious of our responsibility to this nation. When this happened, my first reaction is to resign and just say, but I thought people advised me that, look, the students will never forgive you, because you will have abandoned at a time and everybody will say, oh, I will have been this. Even somebody that is not built to be anything would think I have contributed to his not being what he is. So I took up the responsibility. It was not easy at all.
Also during this meeting, he firmly rejected claims of ethnic bias or administrative incompetence. With the result of the receipt expected to be released today, all eyes are on JAMB once again, and hopes remain high that this second chance will yield better prospects for admissions. In Abuja for True Vision, I am Stella Carlo.